movement snack for the upper body, neck and shoulders. So these movement snacks are movements that are designed to be carried out quickly and easily whenever you start to sense tension and imbalance building in your body. They will focus upon your bony structures and joints and how the position of your bones and joints affects the level of tension in your muscles. They're going to focus on being able to bring awareness to how you hold your body. So the way that you hold your body is a habit. And this habit is created by what you do day in, day out. So today we're going to look at a desk worker and see what might be happening there. But the thing to remember is that you cannot let go of what you're not aware of. So you can't change what you can't feel. And the other thing is the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. So if you're carrying your body in a rotation, as you sit down at your desk, that rotation will continue when you get up and you walk around, when you go for a run, when you lift weights, it's still there. So these movements are designed to bring awareness to the way that you hold your body. So today we're going to look at what happens with your upper body if you're stuck at a desk for a long time, or maybe if you're working from home and your desk setup isn't quite right. We're going to look at it in all three planes of motion. So in the sagittal plane, I'm just going to turn sideways for you. Desk workers tend to find themselves rounded. So we've got a rounding of the upper spine and the head is forwards. So this is all bringing compression, contraction into the front of the body and tension in the back of the body. So the shoulder blades are pulled away from the spine. All of the muscles in the upper back are pulled long. And remembering that your muscles only have one job, which is to contract and to bring your bones back together to some kind of centered position or neutral, think about what's going on back here. More often than not, it's muscles that are stuck in a lengthened state that complain before muscles that are stuck in the shortened state. So in this position, everything in here is contracted, but it's probably feeling fine. Everything in the back body is long and it's probably complaining. The other plane of motion, which there is an effect in the skull, but it's not as big as the sagittal plane, the forwards backwards movement, is that we can have a shift of the skull to one side away from the ribcage. I found it quite difficult to do, but it's that Egyptian dancer where the head moves side to side away from the ribs. And the other one, and this is the tricky one and the most common one, is rotation. My own personal movement pattern, because I'm right-handed, is for my right hand to be reaching forwards for the mouse. So this brings a left rotation into my rib cage. I'm looking at a computer, so my head wants to stay forwards. My eyes need to stay straight forwards, but this left rotation of the rib cage has now meant that in order for my eyes to stay forwards, my skull is rotating right. So I don't know if you can see that. What's happened now is the muscles on this side of the body are shortened. They're in a concentric contraction. The muscles on this side of my neck and my shoulder are all stuck long. All they want to do is to bring my shoulder back and to bring my head back to the front. They are working really, really hard to bring everything back to centre. So we're going to explore this for you now, because that's my pattern. Your pattern will be different. It could be that you're left-handed. It's also worth mentioning that movements of the upper body can be affected by anything that's happened in your lower body, but we're not getting into that today. But what I want you to know, to realise, it's what is happening in your body. You need to be able to sense and feel that. So for today's practice, we'll need a wall. You need something to sit on. So I've got yoga blocks. I'm just going to sit on those. if you haven't got yoga blocks and you've got packets of paper, you could use a couple of packets of paper to sit on, or you can use books. You're going to bring yourself to sit at the wall. Bring the legs straight out in front of you. Bring your bum so that your bum is against the wall. And we're just going to take a moment here so that you can notice how you've arranged yourself. Notice how I've arranged myself and notice what I just told you. So although the movement is not as obvious as the movement that I just made, can you see that my left shoulder, this shoulder is rotating back, this shoulder is further forwards, and can you see that my head is actually rotating right? So my head, my skull, is moving in opposition to my ribs. Now have a think about what you can feel. With your low back against the wall, close down your eyes. Move up through the back of the rib cage. Can you sense how the top of the left shoulder has positioned itself and how the top of the right shoulder has positioned itself? Bring your left hand to the side of your ribs. Notice how the back of the left shoulder, top of the left shoulder, back of the left arm meets the wall or doesn't. So what's the contact with the wall on the left side of the body? Does your left elbow come to the wall? Drop the hand down. Take the right hand to the side of the waist and the ribs. What's different? For me, my right elbow is no longer touching the wall. You might be the other way around. So noticing how the back of the right rib cage meets the wall, how the back of the right shoulder meets the wall or doesn't. Does your right elbow, back of the right arm, meet the wall? Allow your arms to drop down. And then just check in with your neck. So feeling between the neck and the shoulder blade, the chin and the top of the shoulder. Do you feel that you've got more length on one side of your neck than the other? And then just try and sense and see how your head has arranged itself. If you've got a mirror, it would be really useful to do this in front of a mirror. So we're going to do this first movement against the wall. I'm going to move away from the wall just so that you can see what's happening side on, but you're going to stay against the wall and you're going to focus on which parts of the body meet the wall as we do. So I'm going to show you this movement side on. You're going to keep your back to the wall. As we exhale, I would like you to think about your weight falling backwards over the pelvis, so your back of your pelvis is tilting down. The belly moving in. Your arms are going to roll in on the front, so we've got all of this contraction into the front. And then your chin is going to tilt up. As you move into the opposite direction, you're going to roll forwards over the pelvis. You're going to lengthen through the front of the body. Your chest is going to lift up, your chin is going to come down, and you're going to rotate the arms externally so that the shoulder blades are squeezing in on the spine. Exhaling, rolling back over the pelvis, allowing the low back to round, the upper back to round, your chin tilts up. So here we've got contraction into the front of the body, and we've got an eccentric contraction, so a lengthening and a broadening in the back body. As you inhale, moving forwards over the pelvis, arms externally rotate, you'll sense your rib cage lift up through the front and your chin coming down. Shoulder blades will squeeze in and down on the back. As you round down, notice your shoulder blades move away on the back body. So just exploring this movement for yourself. And as you do this movement, just notice if more parts of your body are becoming in contact with the wall. So you can do this in your desk, at your desk without the wall, but the wall's giving you extra feedback. When you finish your next one, just allow yourself to come back to sitting. Take a moment's awareness, moment to notice how your body has changed. How's the contact with the wall now? Is anything different? So that was a movement for the sagittal plane. We've opened and closed all of the joints in the spine. So the spine, after experiencing either end of the movement, your body can then start to decide where it needs to be. Where is a more balanced place for it? So you might find now that you feel that your head is a little closer to the wall, or the backs of the shoulders are a little closer to the wall. So this next movement is going to look at what happens with your head in the frontal plane. So that's a side-to-side movement. Remember, we said that your head can become off axis with your rib cage. And we're also going to try and focus on rotation. So as best you can, I'd like you to keep your shoulder blades in contact with the wall. You're going to bring your left hand to your left rib cage. You're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, I would like you to shorten into the right side of the waist. As you do this, focus on keeping both shoulder blades against the wall, and I'd like you to keep your head facing forwards. So you're going to sense length down the right side of the neck and into the right shoulder, but the right side of the waist is contracting. Shoulder blades moving back towards the wall at all times. The inhale brings you back up to center. Take a breath in and a breath out. And when you're ready, going again. Shortening into the right side of the waist. The head stays facing forwards, length through this side of the neck. Are both shoulder blades still pressing equally into the wall? So we're also learning about rotation here as well. Notice how if one side of your body wants to rotate away from the wall, does one shoulder blade want to lift away from the wall? Can you bring awareness to that and keep both shoulder blades equally moving into the wall? Next time you come back to center, just take a moment. Then the right hand coming to your ribs. So already now something's changed in my right shoulder. With my right hand on my rib cage, my right elbow now comes to the wall. It's nowhere near the wall before. You're going to take an inhale at the top, and then as you exhale, you're going to think about shortening into the left side of the waist. Remember, both shoulder blades stay equally pressing into the wall, and your head stays facing forwards. If you can keep your head against the wall, that would be great. Don't worry if not. Eyes stay on the horizon. We've now got a shortening into the left side of the waist, but a lengthening into the left side of the neck. Come back to center. Remember, we never move into pain. This is a movement exploration. It's noticing the difference side to side. Is it more awkward one way than the other? Is it harder to keep the shoulder blades on? Which parts of your body want to peel off? So inhaling and then exhaling, shortening into the left side of the waist. Let the left arm be heavy. Head stays facing forwards, eyes on the horizon. Both shoulder blades sliding in an arc across the wall. Coming back up, we're going to do one more. So all of these movements, you don't really need a wall. We're using the wall today for feedback. Once you get used to the movements and you start to be able to sense and feel how your body's holding itself without using the wall for feedback, you could just do these at your desk. So for this next movement, we've moved away from the wall. You're going to inhale, and as you inhale, you're going to lift your left arm. The palm will be facing down towards the floor. As you exhale, you're going to start to bring the arm behind you, and you're going to rotate the arm so that your palm now faces the ceiling. You're going to continue to bring it back with the palm facing the ceiling. You're going to try and keep this arm level with the shoulder. Your shoulder blade is going to squeeze in and down towards your right hip, and your head is going to turn right. As you exhale, you're going to reverse this movement. So you're going to start to rotate the palm down. Your arm is going to come back to the front. When it comes back to the front, you're going to bring the left arm to the right knee. You're going to allow your head to turn to the left, so your chin will be towards the left shoulder, and you're going to round down through the spine. So the inhale lifts you up, hand comes to shoulder height, the hand starts to rotate, so the palm faces the ceiling, your head goes to the right, and your shoulder blade squeezes in and down on the spine. As you come back, the hand rotates so the palm faces the floor, palm comes to the right knee, chin comes to the left shoulder, rounding through the spine. So noticing as you create this movement, when you come up, the head turns right, you've got length in the left side of the neck, and you've got contraction from the left shoulder down to the right hip. You've got length in the front of the body from the left shoulder to the right hip. As you go back the other way, the hand comes down to the knee and you round. You're now contracting into the left side of the neck, making space in the right. You are lengthening in the back body from the left shoulder to the right hip, but contracting in the front body from the left shoulder to the right hip. When you feel ready, switching sides, I'm going to show you this from the back now so that you can see what's happening in my shoulder. So we inhale, we bring the arm to shoulder height. As you rotate the arm, your palm is going to face the ceiling, the arm's going to move backwards, and your right shoulder blade is going to squeeze in towards the left hip. Your head will turn to the left. So we've got length in the right side of the neck and contraction into the left. Contraction from the right shoulder to the left hip in the back body, but length in the front body from the left hip to the shoulder. So always an opposite movement going on. As you start to bring the arm back, the palm rotates down, comes to the left knee. Your head now goes to the right shoulder and you round down through the spine. What's happening in your shoulder blade? Can you really feel the movement of your shoulder blade on the back of your body as you do this? Noticing what's contracting, what's lengthening. And noticing whether it's easier or whether it's harder on this side. Maybe you find that it's easier to bring the shoulder blade in and down on the back, but it's harder for it to move away as you round forwards. Or maybe the opposite is happening. The next time that you come back up, take a moment. Just sit there and sense what you can feel. So noticing what's changed, what's different. What can you feel in the back body? What can you feel in the front body? Just let your hands rest in your lap. And then bringing yourself back to the wall. Bring your bum back to the wall. Allow your legs to lengthen out. Take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out, just let go. Ooh. And notice what's changed. My head is now against the wall. It was not against the wall earlier. Shoulders definitely feel a lot more balanced. Upper back's against the wall. So just taking a learning moment. So right now, your body is experiencing something different. It's found a new center, a new place of balance, and you need to allow this to settle in. Notice what's happening in your neck. So my head is now against the wall, effortlessly against the wall. My chin isn't tilted back. My nostrils are level with the floor. So if your chin's tilting up like this, let the head come away from the wall and just let the chin drop down. Your nostrils will be flat with the floor. Your head doesn't need to be against the wall at this moment in time. So remember, we're looking for progression here, not perfection. It takes time. Then when you feel ready, you can move away from the wall. Maybe cross your legs, just let your arms rest in your lap and just notice how you feel. So all of those movements can be performed at your desk, or you can perform them at home where you've got everything. But all of the movements, you do not need the wall. And the only reason that we're using the blocks is because I'm sat on the floor. They can all be done in your chair. So I hope this helps.